So we already covered the screen, talked about the camera and the mute button. So this is our session objectives for the night. By the way, I'm Paulette Bailey. I'm your district governor. I am going to host this session tonight along with Chuck Bailey, my husband, who's helping. Anyway, one of the things that Lions Clubs International likes us to do whenever we do any training is to have what's called session objectives. What are we going to try to accomplish tonight? This session should go 45 minutes to an hour, depending on your questions. I'm guessing since there's only a couple of us, it'll be quicker than not, but that's okay. Feel free to ask questions as we go. So our objectives tonight are to cover a club structure, in other words, your club, how it's put together, the officers and things like that. The district structure is the next level. In other words, clubs go to districts, and then we'll touch base on what's called a multiple district, which is our state structure. I'm going to cover some available resources to help clubs and help you as members. And then another thing is, pardon me, what's called the Global Action Team. And we're not going to put in a whole lot of effort to that because we're really concentrating tonight on your club issues and things like that. But the Global Action Team is an overall of everybody. So just wanted to touch base on that real quick. So who are the Lions? You are. You that have attended tonight. You have made the decision to help others volunteer, serve your communities. And thank you for that. We are all like-minded men and women dedicated to serving together through kindness. And we have 1.4 million members around the world. That's a bunch. And we're in over 200 countries, and we have more than 48,000 clubs. And I'll tell you how many clubs we have in our district in a few minutes. So what do you consider are the benefits of being a Lion? Are the satisfaction of serving others, making a difference in our communities, fellowship and developing friendships and service-minded individuals, and personal growth and networking. So within our clubs, based on the different committees we may serve on and things like that, my feeling is you should let it be known what your passions are, what kinds of things you like to do. Don't let your clubs go ahead and stick you on a committee just to give you a job and put you in charge when you don't even know what the committee is supposed to do. But feel free to join committees and follow your interest levels. So this is what's called the standard club structure. And it's a basic guideline of how a club should be put together, but so many of our clubs are very small, okay? They don't have, like Tellico Village, you have, 40, 50 people in your club, which is awesome. So you can afford to have a lot of these positions filled. But a smaller club, we've got a couple clubs that are 4 to 6 people, and they can only have a president, secretary, and treasurer, which, by the way, are the key positions in a club. I also feel that the membership chair is important because you need somebody that's going to help the club bring in new membership. But in the blue boxes is what's called your board of directors. Let's see if my little cursor will go here. So the board of directors are here. Your president is over here on the right. Then you've got a second vice, a secretary, a treasurer, marketing, membership, and a first vice. Like I said, and of course, the immediate past president. Not all clubs can have all these positions, but it's really important to have the president, secretary, and treasurer. A club can't exist without that. And then at the bottom, the black boxes are committees. The blue board of directors are voted on. In other words, they are elected positions every year. And then the board of directors and officers have these various committees: finance, constitution and bylaws, marketing, leadership. And again, it depends on the size of your club. Not all clubs have these positions. Up at the top here in this gray box, there are 2 positions called a lion tamer and a tail twister, and then the safety officer. Those are all optional. A lion tamer is kind of the individual that keeps track of the club's property. For instance, your gong, your gavel, your podium, your flags, items like that. And then the tail twister is supposed to be the fun, kind of the person that tells jokes, collects fines. They might fine you for not wearing a vest. And I'm goes through some of that vest nonsense and things in a minute. But the tail twister is supposed to be the fun person in the club. So the board of directors responsibilities, they serve as your club's management, of course. They have operational and financial responsibilities. And the operational, as you can see, set the policies of the club. The real key position or responsibility is financial. The board is responsible for making sure that each of our clubs maintains 2 bank accounts. One is administrative, and that one collects our dues, okay? And then the other one is an activity, a charities account, a benevolent account, projects account. Different clubs call it different things, but basically it is the money from the public. And it's really, really important to not commingle those 2 funds. You can take administrative money, dues money, and put it towards your charities, but you cannot take money from the public to pay your dues. So that's the distinction between those 2 different accounts. And the responsibilities and details of the officers or the board of directors and all officers can be found down in the Constitution and bylaws, which is shown down here. That's the resource. And each club should have a club constitution and bylaws. They don't necessarily, but there is a standard constitution and bylaws on the Lions Clubs International website. And the positions and responsibilities for the board of directors is found in Article 8, Section 1. So here are some club traditions, and not all clubs do these, but one of the usual things is most of our clubs do say a Pledge of Allegiance. They have a flag and they will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Many clubs do an invocation and prayer because they might be having a meal, or if not, they just do an invocation and prayer to either recognize the veterans or just to well wish the club. Then there is also some clubs that are older might have a book of songs. It used to be a tradition that Lions clubs would sing a lot of songs, whether they're patriotic or related to Lions somehow, or hymns from church hymnals or whatever. And then the last, well, there's 2 more, but the one that's holding a glass, that is our Lions toast, which some clubs do. And toast is not above you, not below you, but right with you. And then this little white cane that's over on the left, you might say, what's that all about? As you are most likely aware that our prime focus always has been vision. Yes, we've got a lot of other ones right now, but vision. So the white cane is where the clubs actually collect money from the public to help with our charities. And we support quite a lot of charities in Tennessee and around. And we will get there. That will be a whole nother session for you all to hear about later on. I think it's the last session, which will happen in December. And they will go into detail about the white cane charities that we support. What is white cane? But I just wanted to touch base with you because a lot of our clubs collect for white cane. They might stand on a street corner and, holding a boot or a bucket and collect change and money, or they might go to Walmart, shake the thing, help the Lions, help the blind. There's several different ways, but that will be a whole nother session going forward. So our officers, as I mentioned earlier, our officers are elected annually. They're supposed to be. Some clubs officers serve for many, many years, but hopefully there's opportunities for growth and for you to serve in a position in time. But in the January, February timeframe, the president of the club selects a nominating committee. And then between February and March, the nominating committee reaches out to members of the club and to see if they will serve in an officer position. And then in the March timeframe at a meeting, the nominating committee will present the list or slate, as it's called, the list of officers to the club to vote on. So the club elections are typically March, April. We'd like to have them earlier because one of the things after the elections is the club secretary puts those new officers into the Lions Clubs International database so that come the new Lions year, which begins July 1st, those officers will start receiving information from Lions Clubs International and the district and share the information with their clubs. So the election process to be done earlier is good to get them in the system, as well as our district directory, which is a listing of all of our clubs with all of their officers, comes out early, well, hopefully, usually in July. And so whoever's putting that together needs to know who all the new officers are so that they can have a good, accurate directory when it's published in July. Like I said, many of our officers continue to serve for several years, but hopefully that's through an election process and not just because nobody takes the time to even hold elections, because that's very important. And that is in the constitutional bylaws also, that process should happen. So club awards, there's all kinds of club awards. Some are a big deal and some aren't. Service, of course, in itself is a reward to me. That's why I joined the Lions. I didn't join it to get medals and all kinds of thank yous. I joined to help others. But I think we all really appreciate being, we all value being appreciated for what we do. And, just a simple thank you. Thank you for doing, I don't mean to say thank you for doing your job all the time, but just a recognition that, hey, you did good. But one of the awards that clubs go after is called the Club Excellence Award. And this award has several criteria that need to be met. One is membership growth. And what that means is you have net growth of at least one new member at the end of the year. Another criteria is that you conduct service projects and that you may have started a new service project this year. Also, the clubs need to make donations to LCIF. So there's a lot of acronyms in Lions. LCIF stands for Lions Clubs International Foundation, and that is our charitable arm of the organization. And by us making donations, personally or as a club, that really helps to spread the wealth around. In other words, Tennessee has received a lot of money from Lions Clubs International Foundation for our disasters. Okay, the fires we had here in Tennessee a couple of years ago, the flooding in West Knoxville, West Tennessee, the tornadoes and things like that. We can get grants, $10,000 grants in a matter of a couple of days. Well, that comes out of that Lions Clubs International Foundation. I don't want to get into too much detail about that because you will hear about that in future orientation sessions. The criteria called organizational excellence means a club needs to be in good standing. And what that means is that you've paid your dues, the club dues are paid, and that the officers and members participate in different events, district events, international events, whatever, but it's shown that they do participate outside of their own club, and that the club has a marketing and communications program. In other words, they have social media, they have a website, that type of thing. So that would get you the club excellence criteria. And what we do is we encourage clubs to work on that all year, because you don't actually file for this award until the end, in other words, August, after the year is completed. So your year goes July to June, July 1st to June 30. And so then in August, if your club has met all this criteria, they can file for the Club Excellence Award, which is a banner patch and some nice words. So there are 6 elements to be a successful club. We've pretty much touched on them, but one is to conduct meaningful service projects. And that means doing different things for your community, okay? whether you're building a ramp for somebody, whether you do vision screening, eyeglass recycling, whatever the service projects are that your club does, needs to be meaningful and important for the members as well as the community. And that the club, as I mentioned, has a net growth. So that means that the membership grows by at least one during the year, and that the new members, such as you all, get involved quickly. Sometimes we tend to bring members into a club and then we just drop them and we don't get them engaged. I want to call it engaged into activities. And so you might need to step up yourself and volunteer to work on committees and help. Hopefully, if we're a good sponsor and we brought you into the club, we kind of walk you through that process. But it's also important as a new member for you to go ahead and try to get involved yourself. Good communication process. Oh, Lord. Lions are the best kept secret. We're doing a lot better now with social media and all the websites and things like that. But this good communication process really pertains to your club, and that hopefully your officers and committees communicate to the membership what we're doing. Can you help? What the plans are for the future, because it's nice if they can give you a warning that we're going to do a service project in 2 weeks and not just come up the day before and say, hey, we need you tomorrow. I mean, the communication process is very important to have open and good communications. The meetings are held regularly and are meaningful and positive. So we encourage clubs, and I believe it's in the Constitution and bylaws, that they try to hold 2 meetings a month. Right now with COVID, a lot of clubs have been down to 1 meeting if they're meeting at all, but 2 meetings. And 1 meeting, it's a good idea if it would be the business meeting where you're talking about your projects, your fundraising, whatever things are coming down the pike and reports are given and things. And then the second meeting would be more of a social program meeting. You might have a speaker come in from the outside and talk to your club about something. It could be a local community person. In the Lions, we do not promote politics or religion. So it's probably better that you do not have one of those speakers. But for instance, our club had a speaker from Family Promise who handles helping families that are struggling and trying to get established in the community. So that's okay, but to have that people coming in and do a political push and all, we don't encourage that at all. But there's lots of things. You could have your police department come in and talk about what's going on. You could have anybody come in. So, but holding the meetings regularly, and we encourage members to try to participate as much as possible. But you know what? The real thing is to help with your service projects and your fundraising. That's where the real need is in clubs, and to make them successful. And then our club officers, actually all members, participate in zone and district events. I guess I haven't got to the district yet, but anyway, we'll cover the zone and district in a minute, but that the members and officers of your club go and participate in those events. And the club is in good standing. Once again, the good standing means everybody's dues, the club's dues are paid, and that reports are regularly made to Lions Clubs International. In other words, your secretary makes monthly report on your membership, and then either your secretary or another member of the club reports your activities online. So those are important to be done regularly. So here are some resources to help your club. And one is called Your Club, Your Way. And it's a brochure. And it's a way to have your club customize itself, how they run meetings, how often they run meetings, who's invited, this or that. The clubs are autonomous, are individual clubs, which means we decide as a club how we're going to do things. And this Your Club, Your Way really gives you some general information that could be helpful in that to customize the way you do things. The Build a Vision for Your Club brochure is what I want to kind of call a strategic planning. In other words, all of our clubs should kind of have a goal of what they're trying to accomplish during the year. And so to do that, you might have to set up some teams. You might have to come up with plans. to make your vision successful and actually happen. And then the last one over on the right, Club Quality Initiative, is a document where members participate in kind of a workshop where you talk about what your accomplishments have been, what maybe your struggles or whatever have been, and then your plans for the future. So those all can be found on the website there, www.lionspubs.org. That is our main. Oops, somebody's coming in. Wendy Kane's coming in, honey. And so that can be found. That is the Lions Pubs International website. So these are some other resources that can be found. The DG team. So DG is an acronym, one of those acronyms. It stands for District Governor. That makes sense. VDG is a Vice District Governor, and then region chairs. But anyway, the DG team, the three of us, your district governor, your vice, and your first and second vice, and your zone chairs, are a resource for you to come to and ask any of us. The district newsletter comes out monthly. I hope you're all getting that. If you have an email address, you should be getting it. It is also out on the website, the next line, www.tennlions.org. That is our district website. Got to go check it out. It's got a great plethora of information for you. It has a lot of current events. It's got the calendar of what's going on. It's got who your officers are. Lots of stories. It'll have the newsletter out there. It's a great resource. There is also a multiple district website, which is www.lionsofTennessee.com, and that is for our state. So there are a few different things out there that aren't necessarily on our district website. And of course, I already gave you the Lions Pubs International website. The Lion magazine is a great resource as well. It's got some super ideas in it about how to projects you can do. I mean, the projects across the states and across the world are amazing. And so many of us sometimes struggle in our own clubs to think outside the box because we've always done it this way. And so the Lions magazine is a great resource to give you some ideas of how to go forward. Now, there are several items listed here under the Lions Clubs International website, okay? Lions Clubs International website, webinars, the Learning Center, ebooks. Those, when you go to the Lions Clubs, www.lionspubs.org, to find things that you might be looking for, such as the Learning Center or the ebooks, you would want to click on the little icon that's a magnifying glass in the top right corner of that screen once you sign in, and type in the box, the search box, what it is you're looking for. For instance, I'll just pick out Club Officer eBooks. That is a great resource if you're thinking about being president and you want to know a little bit more than what the Constitution and bylaws tells you as far as for the position. So you might go ahead and click on that officer ebook and look through it. It gives you a lot of different ideas and things about the responsibilities, and it gives a ton of hot links. A hot link is like I can click on this lit up thing and it'll take me to that document right away. So hot links are amazing. And they're in several things out there on the international website. And then the last is a club and community needs assessment. I think it's a good idea if our clubs every couple of years can go out to the community, talk to various people and see what the needs are. Because just because we've been doing eyeglass recycling for 100 years, maybe we don't need to do that anymore. Maybe the community doesn't see that need. But, and I just picked one. I mean, there's several things that a club might be doing that just aren't important anymore. And yet there might be other areas that we can serve the community better. So checking that out is a good idea. I believe I have to ask a question here because I'm about to get into the district. So do I have any questions that you all would like to ask concerning this club structure? That's your own personal club.
Not here.
Go ahead.
Not here.
Okay,
No,
thanks,
not
Diane.
here either.
All right, appreciate it. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and move on. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the district. So as I mentioned, your club is part of a district. You are part of District 12N. That is East Tennessee. And I'll get into it in a second, but we do have 5 districts across the state of Tennessee, but we are 12N and we are Eastern Tennessee. And we go from Kingsport up near the Virginia border down to Kingston and Harriman in the Southwest. So we cover 42 clubs and we have about 882 members right now. And, but anyway, as far as the structure goes, this is another org chart similar to what you saw for the club structure. So you've got the main officers are in blue. You've got the district governor over here. You've got the first and second vice district governors. You've got the cabinet secretary, cabinet treasurer, and of course, the immediate past district governor is part of that group. Now, here in this box in the middle is what's called region chair and zone chair. These are the boots on the ground for the governor, for me as governor, certainly. The zone chairs are responsible for about 6 clubs in their immediate area. In other words, we have a zone chair for the Northeast. We've got one for the West, the Southwest, Middle Tennessee, Knoxville area. So we have 6 zone chairs in our district, and they handle about 6 to 7 clubs each. So what they do is they contact the clubs and talk to the clubs and see what's going on, and they have meetings. They are encouraged to hold 4 meetings a year with these clubs and to find out what's going on and share ideas. Actually, one of the big things to me, an important part of a zone chair meeting is, or a zone meeting, is to share ideas. So the clubs that are present share their accomplishments, their successes, and share their challenges, because maybe another club has gone through what they're struggling with and can help them. So it's a great sharing idea. We also encourage zone meetings to have guest speakers. For instance, there are 4 meetings a year. We'd like to cover topics such as leadership, membership, service, and Lions Club's International Foundation. So if a zone chair is struggling and what to have the meeting about, those are just kind of good key sources to hold. And there's a ton of information for the zone chairs on international site, as well as training. So, and there's training for all those positions: governor, vice governor, cabinet secretary and treasurer, not so much, but we do have some responsibilities listed in a district constitution and bylaws. So we had a standard club constitution bylaws. Now we have district constitution bylaws. They all flow together and feed off of the international constitution bylaws, but these are just a little bit more specific to our particular area. And then of course, all these positions in the bottom, the black, are the various committees and coordinators and that are assigned, okay? So on the right, in this purplish box, is what's called the Global Action Team. And I'm sorry, I forgot to cover that in the club org chart that we looked at, but there is also one of these there. We're trying not to make a big deal about the Global Action Team, but what I want to show you is that each of these will flow together. So clubs help the district, help the state. So the Global Action Team has a leadership person, a membership person, and a service person. So that's true in a club. Oops, sorry, bounce to the next screen. Let me go back one. So I'm finished with this. And so they all flow together. Believe me, it's a good team concept. So now the district has 4 cabinet meetings a year. One is in July, right one in the beginning of our year. And the purpose of that one is so that the governor team can put forth their goals and plans for the year. In other words, what we're hoping to accomplish this year. And we review the budget and approve the budget. And we have several different committee reports and year-end reports and things like that. The cabinet meetings strictly usually are, I would say, about 4 hours long. They typically start at 9 in the morning and go to lunch or maybe 1. And then sometimes in the afternoons, we run a training course or 2, depending. And like I said, there are 4 of those. So we have one in July. We have another one in October called the Fall Cabinet Meeting. We have another one at the district convention, which is held in February. And then we have our last one at the state convention in May. So cabinet meetings, anybody can go to a cabinet meeting. The notices are put out in the news and views. It's on our district calendar. It'll be on the district website as far as the dates and all, and they're planned way in advance. So you have plenty of notice to know how and when to get those on your schedule. And the locations are given as well. By the way, the next district cabinet meeting, just since it's around the corner, is October 23rd. And it is going to be at a place called King Family Library in Sevierville. So there will be information in the next week's news and views about that newsletter. Regarding the convention, as you can see, we have fun at conventions. This one was several years ago where we had a Hawaiian theme. So we had hulas and we had leis and we had a big pulled pork, et cetera, et cetera. It was really a fun time. The district convention is typically for District N held in February. And we have it at a local hotel, depending on where the district governor is located. It could be up in the Kingsport area. It could be in Knoxville. It could be in Gatlinburg. It could be in Pigeon Forge. But anyway, they're held all over, wherever we can get a good price on hotels and meals, etc. That is a weekend event. Okay, it starts Friday afternoon. Sometimes there's a seminar, but usually it's a Friday evening deal, meet and greet, get together, dinner. And then Saturday is an all day. We have a wonderful nephrology service. We have reports from different people. We typically have a motivational speaker. We have an international speaker. And we also vote on our officers for next year. In other words, our new district governor, our new vice, and our new our vice governors. And those will come out in plenty of time, 60 days ahead of time, you know who they are, and be able to vote. But we vote that day at the convention. And then sometimes we have a Saturday night banquet and sometimes we don't. But if we do, then typically we leave Sunday mornings. So like I said, it's the conventions are held based on where the governor is located and where they decide to have it. So how can the district help your club? We're here for you, okay? Your district governor team, your zone chairs, your various committee chairs. If you have any questions, just reach out to us. Like I said, our names, our positions, our contact information is on the district website. There are directories that your club presidents and officers should have, secretaries should have, that you can find out who to contact. So we're here. We try to stay out of your club business as far as leaders, but if there's issues and we need to get involved, we will. It's also recommended that you as members attend the zone and district meetings and hear the different ideas and achievements that clubs have done and share what your club's done or ask questions. That's a good way to participate and learn. And we suggest that maybe you want to think about inviting one of the district committee chairs, for instance, an environmental chair, to come to your committee and tell you what's going on in environment and how your club might be able to do something in environment. Or the hunger chair, you know, they can tell you the different hunger projects that you could possibly do. And then lastly, invite the DG team to a membership recruiting event. That means, for instance, I try to encourage our clubs to have a recruiting event at least once a year where you're going out and maybe having an event where you're bringing in new members or potential members. There's a great way if you host a meal and then have different members of your club talk rather than one person getting up there and lecturing like I'm doing. If you have different members of the club talk, like maybe say have your person that's been around your Lions Club the longest, they can share the things that your club has done. Or one of your officers that handles dues can talk about the dues structure. They all need to know about it. I mean, it is real. We do pay dues. But different people can talk and talk about what the activities and service projects and whatnot that your club does. So that's all cool. So do I have any questions from anybody regarding the district structure? Nope. Nope. And then multiple district. The multiple district 12 is our state, okay? So we are 12N. We have 5 districts across the state, LIONS. How about that? Lions. So there are 5 districts, and the districts are composed of various clubs. For instance, ours, like I said, it's 42 clubs. Maybe one of the other districts is 35. But that's the structure of this state. So when you're, let me just go through. So District L is located in the Memphis area. District I is over in the Nashville area. District O is from Chattanooga up towards Crossville, that area. District N is us, East Tennessee. And then District S was kind of squeezed in between District O and District I. So they're over in the Murfreesboro area, Lebanon, that they go more south in that area. So now your district, multiple district council is made up of all the governors, all 5 governors in the state. So we've got LIONS, okay? So that's called the Council of Governors. Now we have a council chair. That's kind of our ringleader, if you want to call it that. He doesn't mandate what we have to do, but he just makes sure we behave ourselves. And he or she. Anyway, they only vote on items if there is a tie with the governor team, but since there's 5 governors, it's usually not an issue. Each of us governors serve in a position. For instance, I'm the council secretary this year. One of our District O is our council treasurer. And then District I is our vice council chair. We have 2 other positions that I don't see on here right at the moment, but they are the sergeant at arms and the chaplain, which says prayers and things. Sergeant at arms takes care of the property of the council. And then, of course, all these other committees down here. So there's a whole bunch of committees that are signed and people can volunteer to work on, and it's all good. Once again, see this purple box? There's that magic global action team again. And again, it's leadership, membership, service. And so the council chair happens to be the head team leader in that group. So once again, your club level has a global team, and then your district, and now your multiple district. So I'm going to talk real briefly about this global action team because I didn't want to really push the idea of global, okay? Because this meeting, this orientation session was supposed to be about your individual club, but it is a group thing. The global action team was built with a vision that one day every need would be served. Every need around the world will be served by a lion. So it takes a team to do that. And the global action team uses the entire Lions network to serve our clubs. And then we help to achieve and create the 5 approach. So I hope this helped you realize that clubs really are initiating and in the middle of all of it. And yet, as we work together as a bigger team, how much we really can help globally. But it's all basically the club that gets things started. So did we achieve our talking about district club and district structure, touched on the MD, touched on the global action team, and then I provided you many resources to be able to utilize going forward. So our Lions are ordinary people doing amazing things. Thank you so much for participating tonight. I'm sorry there weren't more people on board, but I think it's a good start, and that's okay. We're going to offer the session again, probably next spring. We are planning on doing the 4 sessions. I don't know if you saw it on the thing, but one is this one. There's going to be a session on Constitution bylaws and the responsibilities of various officers. There's going to be a session on Lions in general. In other words, Lions Clubs International, who we are, a little bit of history, a little bit of the focus areas that we are involved in, and talking about our foundation in general as well. And then the last session will be on, as I described, white cane and what that's all about and the various charities that we serve. And also they will be talking about upcoming learning events. So it will be this through, so we've got September, October, November, December, and then we hope to offer these again March, April, May, and June. We'll just have to see how these go and make that decision then. But this should allow people to kind of join in any session, and they are being recorded. So we might eventually put it out on the district website. By the way, talking about the officer positions, there are classes out there on the district website for secretary, treasurer, and president. So anyway, with that, do I have any questions on anything? Well, thank you all so much for joining. Wendy, we've got a representative from, Wendy Kane has joined us. She's our gal guru. She's our lions. She was born a lion. Anyway, Wendy is from the Oak Ridge Club, just for Diane and Alyssa. Diane is from the Tellico Village Club, Wendy, and Alyssa is from the Carnes Club. So we're happy to have them with us tonight.
Cool. I got Barry, but he's, you can almost see him in the
Barry.
corner there too. Hi, Barry. So, apologies for being late today, but I figured since I'll be doing one of these coming up in November, it'd be good to sit in, as well as he actually had the link, so he reminded me that this is tonight. Thank you.
Great. So anyway,
Diane and Alyssa, good to see you. Welcome.
Anyway, thank you so much again. And like I said, I apologize that there weren't more, but I think it went well and hope you learned a little something. Have a great evening. Thank you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.